Welcome to Exploring A Course in Miracles Shorts, where Robert and I take you into course scribe Helen Schucman's original notebooks and through material that has been restored in the Complete and Annotated Edition of A Course in Miracles. Even though we are on page 4 of Helen's notebooks as a timeline, we are still in the morning of October 21st, 1965. This is the day the course began to come through. At this point, Helen has taken down 3 miracle principles. She's had some back and forth with Jesus that Robert and I have covered in previous course shorts videos. She has called Bill and spoken to him about what is happening to her. And now she's in a cab on the way to work, still taking notes. So Robert, what is coming through at this point?
Okay, let me share my screen. So here's what she says. In cab, brief discussion. And here's the discussion. This apparently is from Jesus. No, it's wrong to think maybe Dave will be healed. Dave is a friend of hers who's dying of brain cancer. Then parenthetically, she says, with great fear here, because I want to separate the next thought from Dave, who is dying in human terms. And Louie's hernia, it's her husband, who apparently has a hernia, will be cured. So no, it's wrong to think maybe Dave will be healed and Louie will be cured. Now, that doesn't sound that clear. When this was dictated into the text, where Helen would dictate her notes to Bill and he would type them up, we have a little clearer version of it. It says, Helen Schucman, fearful in taxi, about a communication, which I think is what we just read, which related Dave's healing and Jonathan's, she calls her husband Jonathan for some reason, Dave's healing and Louie's hernia. She thought it would be safer to dissociate the two. Instructions were refer to point 1, miracle principle 1, and reread now. So essentially, what's happened is that Jesus is trying to get her to relate Dave's healing, and he's dying, and he will die, from her husband's hernia, and she wants to separate the two for obvious reasons. If Dave's dying and Louie's, fate is linked to Dave, then
what does that mean for him?
What does that mean for him? So instead, Jesus rejects that approach. He directs her attention back to miracle principle 1. There's no order of difficulty in miracles, and says, reread now. Essentially, he's saying, since there is no order of difficulty in miracles, you need to place Dave's cancer, Louie's hernia, and every other kind of illness and every other kind of problem all in one category.
So two things here. One is he's constantly referring her back to that first miracle principle about no order of difficulty. And 2, that's really uncomfortable for us because what does it say when we're supposed to view something as trivial as a hernia being cured as the same as somebody who is dying of brain cancer? That's a really uncomfortable message. So what do we do with that juxtaposition?
Yeah, well, when we face illnesses in people, our minds immediately go into how big is this? And we try to size it up very quickly. We ask questions, we get information, and he's essentially short-circuiting that process and saying, put them all in the same category.
It aligns with the Course's teachings on sickness and orders of difficulty, and yet at the same time, it's a lot to take in. That we're supposed to view someone who's dying the same as somebody who is recovering from a hernia that will be cured.
Right. Yeah, and as you pointed out, he keeps asking Helen to reread, and it's those first 3 principles. So everything she's bringing up at this point, he's answering with reread the principles. And
Maybe
he's
that's
doing
what
it
we
again.
should do too.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right, Robert. Well, is there anything else that you want to say on this paragraph?
I think that's it.
Okay. Thanks. See you for the next paragraph.